Greetings, you all. I'm here with you today. I wanted to share with you all a bit of what's going on in my journey today as I began my quest into great jazz guitarist, composer, and reader. Today was April 25th, 2018. I began my practice at 3:08 a.m. And I just want to leave a couple of notes here for my journaling. I began today, as you can see, Hal Leonard's, or Leonard, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, his guitar method book. Books 1, 2, and 3 and together, and it's in one easy to use vault. It's by Will Schmidt and Greg Koch. So my notes for today's practice session were that these are just things to help me get better and improve other techniques and methods that other people teaching themselves how to play guitar might want to use. So the first thing was that I believe that I should begin to make sure that I set objectives for my practices in the books before just going for broke, if you will. So I should make a goal before such practices, to see what, particular exercises I can get to, and also, chart whether I made it to that goal or didn't make it to that goal. Also, I believe that I should be particularly saying the notes while I'm playing them and reading the exercises. I believe it could form some sort of mental experience between the notes on the paper and my corresponding positions with my hand on the guitar as well. So, what I mean by that is if I'm on this E string right here, if you will, and the exercise for sight reading on page 1 is 2 E's, an F, and followed by a G, then what I'm saying is essentially I should be saying E, E, F, F, E, E, F, F, G. So that's what I mean. So because if you're saying those notes out loud, I believe that you're forming some type of connection between not only your fingers and the guitar, but your fingers, the guitar, and your brain by saying the notes out loud. So that's something I want to begin doing in my exercises. Also believing that will develop an auditory correspondence as well for the purpose of long-lasting memory. Play the exercises more than once. I believe that playing these exercises more than once while having a particular goal would be a good practice technique, if you will, or practice habit, because you can just play through plenty of exercises and continue to play through those exercises. My goal is to embrace and absorb the information and not simply get through the information. I want to not only read the book from beginning to end, but also digest the book as well into a great form of understanding that can be embodied as a set of skills that can be projected for the rest of my life in my guitar playing experience, as well as for the basis of technique. I would love to make sure that in my studies that I'm consciously focusing on keeping my hand over the fretboard and the strings. I noticed that in an arch fashion. I noticed that when I was pressing certain frets down, that I would move my finger away from the strings. Or if I was pressing here, I move this finger away. There's just a certain type of thing. Like if I was pressing this ring finger down, you notice that there's certain responses with my muscles that are happening when I press one down. And one of my goals is to keep my fingers over the strings in an effort to make sure that as I progress through my reading, sight reading, and buying different manuscripts of music, that I might endeavor to continue to be able to have my fingers as close together, not together, but as centered over the strings as possible, in the event that if a new rhythm or new set of notes are being shown in the music, that my fingers might indeed be able to quickly, rapidly, if you will, be able to get to those notes as expeditiously and effectively as possible. And that is why I feel that it's very important to make sure that the fingers are constantly arched over the fretboard in any exercise consciously until it is embedded in a cerebral fashion to where it's actually not something that you think about at all, but just supremely embedded in the subconscious mind by way of consciously making an effort to keep those fingers centered over the fretboard. Next, I would love to, because I would like to, well, the reason why I want to play all the exercises in the How Leonard's Guitar Method book twice is because I feel that a good sense of repetition and would also be a good exercise. I want to play those exercises at least twice, and I would also want to believe for myself that it would be advantageous to, if I don't hear a quality sound, to continue to develop that sound to be a quality sound. So, you know, I hear a buzz or half played note, I would like to endeavor to play good quality sounds at every single note all the time, so that as I matriculate through my jazz guitar journey, that I would indeed be able to not accept anything less from myself than a great quality sound at all times. Also, make time for review. Playing all the previous exercises again in an effort to be a run through, if you will. Not simply getting through the book, but playing over these exercises once and again from previous pages, because the goal is to be a great reader and a great composer of the art of jazz guitar. On exercise number 14 in the book, I noticed it got really interesting because the book began to movement from string to string, if you will, and you know, from first string to the E string, and the second string, the B string. I completed exercises 1 through 14 today. My rehearsal lasted from 3:08 to 3:48 today, this morning. One of my goals is to begin consciously focusing when I'm not playing my guitar today and I'm at work, is to think about and focus on visually remembering where those notes were located, you know, in my mind. With this first string being the E string, I know now that the open, of course, is E. You know, I know that this is E. I know that this first fret right here is a F. I mean, and also gotta get a good quality sound. Keep those fingers over the neck. So E there. I mean E here. F here. G here. B here. C here. And D here. And so my goal is today, because in those exercises 1 through 14, the first four frets, there were 6 notes. They were isolated and identified out of the first string, E string, and the second string, the B string. And so one of my goals is to mentally think about where my fingers are placed on the strings, and so there's a connection, if you will, visually being drawn where I can see in my mind's eye that the the third string is the B, but as well as uh, that third line being the B string, that I'm also able to think about in my mind where that note rests on the staff, and also where the finger represents the note on the staff, but in correspondence or correlation on the string as well. It's new, it's fresh for me. I'm excited, and I can't wait to grow, and I can't wait to go back and revisit exercise number 14 once again. This is the first exercise in my life where I'm reading guitar, and it's gotten to the point where it's teaching me um, between movement between two different strings. So I'm excited. I'm very excited, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you all. So thank you. Um, you all have a blessed day. I think I got to everything today. Um, it is it's 4:02, so with about a 15-minute journaling process, or 13 minutes of journaling or so, I believe. I'm very happy about today's practice, and excuse me, y'all. Um, I'm just really excited. So I'll see you all soon, and thanks for checking out the video and checking out my jazz guitar journey. Sight reading and composing is the ultimate goal. So peace, y'all.